Hello everyone, myself Vahita, Assistant Professor of CSE Department from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am here to explain a few concepts in the subject CS 8592 Object Oriented Analysis and Design. We are going to discuss about the topics low coupling and high cohesion. The objective is to learn about the concepts of low coupling and high cohesion. So first let us know what is low coupling. Before that we have to know what is coupling. Coupling is a measure of how strongly one element is connected to and has the knowledge of or relies on the other element. An element with low or weak coupling is not dependent on too many other elements. Types of coupling: low coupling or weak coupling, high coupling or strong coupling. First let us see about low coupling or weak coupling. An element, if it does not depend on too many other elements like classes, subsystems and systems, it's having the low coupling. High coupling or strong coupling. A class with high coupling relies on many other classes. The problem of high coupling are forced local changes because of changes in related classes. Harder to understand in isolation. So here arises a problem, that is how to support low dependency, low change impact and increased reuse. The solution for this is to assign a responsibility so that the coupling remains low and use this principle to evaluate the alternatives. Example, the next gen case study which we have already seen. So we have to create a payment instance and associate it with the sale. So this is a design one which is suggested by the creator. For register creates the payment here and it adds the coupling of register to the payment. In this diagram it shows the register creates payment. Okay, so consider this register which will make the payment. Considering the design 2 that is suggested by the low coupling, here the sale does the creation of a payment and it does not increase the coupling. So this is a diagram which implies the sales creates the payment. Now let us see about high cohesion. First we have to know what is cohesion. Cohesion may be a functional cohesion. It is a measure of low or how strongly related and focus the responsibilities of an element are. An element with highly related responsibilities that does not do a tremendous amount of work that has high cohesion. These elements include classes, subsystems and so on. For this we have a solution, that is to assign a responsibility so that the cohesion remains high. Use this to evaluate the alternatives. A class with low cohesion does many unrelated things or does too much of work. Such classes are undesirable. They suffer from the following problems as hard to comprehend, hard to reuse, hard to maintain, delegate and constantly affected by the change. The low cohesion classes often represent a very large grain of abstraction or have taken on responsibilities that should have been delegated to other objects. Example, create a payment instance and associate it with the sale. Then design. The register records a payment in the real world domain. The creator pattern suggests the register as a candidate for creating the payment. The register instance could then send and add a payment message to the sale, passing along the new payment as a parameter. So this is a diagram which shows the register which creates the payment. In the case of design 2, the second design delegates the payment creation responsibility to the sale, supports higher cohesion in the register. The second design, payment creation is the responsibility of sale. It is a highly desirable because it supports the high cohesion or low coupling. This is a diagram which implies the sales that creates the payment. Now let us see about the scenarios of varying degrees of functional cohesion. That is, first one is very low cohesion. A class is solely responsible for many things in very different functional areas. Example, let us assume that the existence of a class called RDB RPC interface, which is completely responsible for interacting with relational database and for handling the remote procedure calls. These are two vastly different functional areas and each requires the lots of supporting code. Low cohesion, a class that has solely responsible for a complex task in the functional area. Example, assume the existence of a class called RDB interface, which is completely responsible for interacting with relational databases. The methods of the class are all related, but there are lots of them and a tremendous amount of supporting code. There may be hundreds or thousands of methods. Now let us see about high cohesion, a class that has moderate responsibilities in one functional area and collaborates with other classes to fulfill the task. Example, assume the existence of a class called RDB interface that is only partially responsible for interacting with the relational databases. It interacts with a dozen or other classes which is related to RDB access in order to retrieve and save objects. Now let us see about moderate cohesion, a class that has lightweight and sole responsibilities in a few different areas that is logically related to the class concept but not to each other. Example, assume the existence of a class called company that is completely responsible for knowing the employees and knowing its financial information. These two areas are not strongly related to each other, although both are logically related to the concept of a company. Thank you.